Hello everyone. In this video we are going to learn the position property of the CSS. So let's start. Position property is used to position the HTML element on the document or on an HTML page at specific location. So position property has this value: static, fixed, absolute, relative and sticky. Along with position property, we also used top, left, right, bottom property to align the elements based on those directions. So let's discuss what is the static. It is nothing but it does not have any effect on the element. So it's just a static. To just switch it between fixed to static, that's why the static property is there. Does not have any effect. Then fixed. So by using this fixed value of the properties value of CSS position property, so by using this fixed, the element will get fixed and does not move, so it will get stuck, and that can be used like a footer node or navigation bar, top navigation bar that is fixed at that location. Then absolute. So absolute, and there is another property, there is another value for the property is relative. So here the position of the element is based upon the element related to it. For example, let's say there is a div a tag and there is a div b tag. If a div b tags contain inside a div a tag, then div b will be relative to div a. Okay, and the relative value of the position properties reflects to its position only. So when if we are assigning a relative value for position of the HTML element, then the element will be relative to its position only. Okay, then sticky. So sticky will make the element stick at the given position, or otherwise it will move or behave like a relative element. So let's start with the practical. Here let's say, now this time I'm not going to define a head. I'm going to use a separate div, and for that div we'll give a name called head, and inside that head you define the heading CSS property, CSS position property. Example. So let's say this is our head, and I want that this head will be at the very top. So let's see the CSS for it here. Yeah, it's working. So let's align it. We have a head CSS, and let's say of the font size of, let's say, 30px. So sync is there or not? Yes, it is there. Link. We have not linked the CSS file. Yeah. So here you can see if you have increased the font size. Let me put one background color, and let's say yellow green. Okay, so let me set the width of the element, and let's say width will be 400px. So watch its effect. Yeah, now to align it in at the center, as I told you, you can use the margin property and the sort and property. So we don't want top and bottom, we want left and right auto, so it will get shifted to the center. And also using text alignment, we can align the text to the center. So as you can see, we have aligned it. Now what I want, that this element should be fixed at the position of this element will be fixed, so position fixed, and at what position I want to fix it, so it should be fixed at top 0, so it will get fixed. Yeah, here you can see the element get fixed from the top. Now to make it in the center, so to align it in the center, we have to remove this width property, and then here you can see we have also set the margin, so we'll remove the margin. Yes, then as we can see here, we can also have instead of having width in this way, we can set the width to 100%. Now it will be okay and it will get aligned. So let me again reset it, and yeah, so here it get aligned, and now we have set it on the center, the content at aligned to the center. So this element gets sticked and it will not move. So let's define another block. So that block will tell us how we can create the sub blocks here. Okay, so let us create one container, and inside that container we are going to create 3 blocks. So div, and the class for it's a container. Then let's say inside this again I am going to create subsections. Let's say box 1, it will be a class, and the property will be box 1. Yeah, so we'll name it box 1. Now in similar way I'm going to create the remaining 2 blocks. Yeah, so it's box 2, it's box 3, and we'll change the CSS box 3, and it will be a box 2. Okay, so as you can see, it's get hidden at the top, so we don't want that. It should be hidden like this. So let's apply some CSS over that box, and we have given the name container, so I'll add that container. And for that container, first of all, we'll give the border 1px solid, so that it will be easy for us to understand it all in color. Now we'll give a margin from the top so that the box will appear below that header. So margin from the top, let's say 60px. Okay, and we can also set that margin from top and bottom and left and right by this. So top to 60px, left and right will be auto, and from bottom it will be of 50px. So it will look like this. Okay, and let's define the another properties or the another blocks. So here we have box 1, and for the box 1 I want the width of this box 1 will be of let's say it's 300px, and I want a background color for that box, and that will be like aqua color. We'll use it box 1. Yeah, it is there. Also I have to define the height for this, so let me define the height for the box 1, and it should be of, let's say, 500px. Okay, now let me define padding inside this box. So padding from all direction, it's of 20px. Box 1 padding will be of 20px, and let's start floating it on the next, so that the below 2 box will also appear in the same way. So I will use this CSS and make a copy of it, and we'll give box 2 and box 3. Okay, So as you can see here, we have these different two boxes. I will change the color and it will be of green, and another one will be of red. Okay, so these are the boxes. Now if I, let's say, float property of on this box, and it will be of float left. So if you use float left, what it does, it will align all the elements to the left of it. So here we have this element, and you can see here box 2 and box 3 are merged. So we want that those all the boxes element will get aligned with this element, this box 1, and for that we have to change some box 1 CSS property. So here we have set the padding. Also we will add margin. So to add it margin 10 px. So yeah, you can see here the box is shifted, green box. Now after adding this box 1, all this box should appear on this side. So to make it appear on this side, first of all, we want that this is box 1, box 2 will be here on this half, and box 3 will be here on this half. So to change it, first we will redistribute the size, let's say 250, and here also we'll add a height of 250. Yeah, or we can put some adding margin. So we'll keep yeah. So here you can see we have shifted it like this, and we have set the width to 200 to 300 px of box 2 and box 3. So to reduce this, we will uh, remove this width, and from here also we will remove this width, so that box 2 and box will float here, but it's get like overflowed on the main div box. So our main div box is a container and it gets overflowed inside it, so we'll remove it by using overflow hidden. So as you can see that it added it's not adding anything here. So instead of hidden, we'll use overflow auto. So by doing this, also we are not getting it. So we need to add something here in box 2 and box 3 so that they will get added. So here we are going to use overflow hidden, so it will hide the content. And here also we'll add a overflow hidden, so it will hide that overflowed content. Now after adding this, we need to set again the margin. So as we have given the margin for that elements, also we'll give the margin for this 10 px. So let's see what the effect make it. Yeah, here you can see we have a 10 px margin, and also we can have a margin to this element of 10 px, so it will add a margin of 10 px to this element also. So as you can see, we have aligned, we have positions the element like this. Okay, so this is all about when we are adding it. Now let me show you another property of position. So for that, let me make one div tag here, and that div tag tells class equals to bottom, and this is the bottom class, and we have let's say bottom text line. So by adding this bottom text line, I want that it should appear at the bottom and it should be on this screen, and it will not move and stick here. So again, to do that, we have to set it here in the CSS. We have a class called bottom, and in the bottom we are going to set the position to fixed, and we'll make it to bottom 0, and from right side it will goes to bottom right to 0. So by doing this, you can see here, if we add something like 10px, so it will having a space of 10px from there and 10px from the bottom. So it will like look above here. Now still we are having limited elements, so let me add or show you one more div. So here let's say I'm going to add one more div, and for that div it will be like sample one, and let's say class, so div box one. Yeah, so let's say we have added this and we want that it should be a sticky box. So just let me demonstrate this. Dot div box one, and here if you see we'll add a background color. So from background color I will use let's say brown color will use. So as the box one is added here, and you can see that the bottom text line is over that sample one. So let me increase some font size to 20px, add some padding in the box, 20px, yeah, or add more little bit, 25px. So here you can see from the top of here you can see that the CSS position property get fixed, and the remaining that the next box will flow inside it, and here the sample one box appear and the bottom text line will be at the bottom, so it does not move. So in the same way, let me add another box and we'll give the width and height to it. Okay, so it will be a 2 and it will be 3, so we'll name it 2 and 3. Yeah, so as you can see they are here, but they have no CSS, so let me add the same CSS and we'll change the name to 2 and 3, and let's change the color. So it will be, let's say, black, and it will be, let's say, darker blue. Yeah, so here you can see that we have added this. Now let me add a margin. So already for the div box one we have a margin. Let me add a margin for this. Margin from top, it's 20px, and for this also I will add a margin from top, it will be of 20px. Okay, so these are the three boxes. Let me set the width and height. So width of this box will be, let's say, width of 200px and height of 500px. So as you can see here, and the color is not here, so let me add a color that is white. So this is a sample 2, and also I will add the same thing here for this box also. So you can see those are aligned. Now let me shift that box little bit that side, so margin from left, and it will be of 200px. So from left it will get moved. I will little bit move more, and it will be 260. Yeah, so you can see here, and we have added this element and they are scrolling. So here just this box are created to demonstrate you this sample one. Let's make it float. So for sample one we want that this box will be a sticky box. So let's say position is sticky, and it will get a stick from top by 10px. Yeah, so if we start scrolling, this box will get sticked at the top and it will not move. Okay, and we have given 10px from the top, so that's why it's space, it has a space of 10px from the top. Now from here you can see that it has a fixed space at it's not getting any fixed space from the top. It gets completely stick from the top. So here you can see we are moving the elements and it gets stick at the very top. So you can design a navigation bar in such a way that it goes and got stick over the top of the page so that it will not move and user can easily navigate. So this is all about the position property. I hope you have understand. See you in the next video.